Welcome back to the Best of Movies podcast. I'm what's left of your host, Griffey, joined as always by friend and co-host Sam.
Still got my appendix.
No Petite today. We're here. Petite is enjoying a much-deserved vacation with the boys. We wish them all the fun in the world. Yes, so I missed a couple episodes of the draft because I had gotten sickness from school.
Heath's on vacation right now? I thought he was on a work assignment.
No, Heath's on vacation.
Oh, what the fuck, Heath?
Yeah, we don't get vacations here in our unpaid labor. What the fuck?
Okay, sorry. Anyways.
So, yes, enjoy Heath. Soak it up. I hope you're not even watching this. I missed a couple episodes because of school crud. Little cough, stuff like that, right? Then last week, my wife had car trouble. I went to help her out. The boys are like, we're out. It's late. Let's get some Taco Bell for dinner. And I was like, that's a great fucking idea. Let's get Taco Bell. Yeah. In the middle of the night, I started rolling around and I was like, oh, the classic white man's mistake, right? Like, whatever the Montezuma's revenge is for Midwestern whites. Yeah, I was like rolling around. I was like, this hurts. It's painful. This is not good, right? And I was like, whatever. So I call work the next day. I was like, I think I have food poisoning. Except nothing was coming out. Like bottom or top. Just
that's
like,
a good sign it's not food poisoning, right? Because normally you're puking.
That's what I said. I was like, I thought I'd be spraying everywhere. No, it's just a ball of pain. Turns out I had to have an emergency appendectomy. I am, as of this recording, 1 week away from the surgery. So I'm feeling strong enough to sit up in a chair. Hopefully, pod. I will say today's movie, Iron Lung, can suck my fucking dick for being 5 hours long. That was brutal.
Wait, it was only 5 hours. It felt much longer.
I know. It felt like one of those. I was like, I'm being condemned to death by the penal system.
It was longer than it took to beat the video game, right? We looked it up.
It's way longer than... Yeah, but that's... I mean, as a guy who has 3 incisions right now in my gut, sitting in shitty Regal chairs for 18 hours or however long this movie was...
It doesn't help that our Regal... Like, I'm sure all of you out there listening have those fancy reclining seats, right? We're stuck in the late 90s with the gymnasium, the high school gymnasium chairs or whatever.
Yeah, I almost have a thing with our Regal now where it's like, I just can't quit because that means I'm a quitter. But, like, we have the worst theater in America. Like, if you bulldoze that theater tomorrow, I wouldn't blink. I wouldn't shed a tear. Neither here nor there.
It makes sense.
A little bit of business. We're just rambling on before we start. Please go find Mr. Cream Jeans on Indiegogo. Help us support our movie. Get our first movie out in the world. My God, if only we could get the reception Markiplier's Iron Lung had gotten. You can get a perk where you can join this podcast to help make that happen. That would be incredible. Go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page to specifically help support and grow the show. That means the world to us. We're putting in so much time and effort to make this great for you. Please help us. Make sure you find Misfit Parade and subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. We're there. You're there. Let's get it done. So, Sam, we're here today to talk about Iron Lung, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's what we found. We're 1 week out of Iron Lung. This was kind of a big watershed moment in recent cinema, right? So Markiplier is a YouTuber, a massive online streamer. Right? I think we already has like 38 million subscribers.
Something like that, yeah.
Huge footprint. He decides he's going to make a movie out of a video game that he had once streamed. We actually watched him stream Iron Lung.
Spoiler alert. We actually did research for this one.
Spoiler alert, better than the movie he made of Iron Lung. This is the story everyone's been telling, though, right? Influencer has huge success. Because he has such a huge fan base, he was able to go to theaters and get in over 3,000 theaters, right? I think 3,200 some screens.
Wow.
The movie came out, made about 22, 27.
First weekend?
Yeah, somewhere in the mid-20s, right, for its box office, which is obviously a huge return on his $3 million self-finance investment. So all anyone had talked about with this movie was this kind of fairy tale version of production. We learned the hard way, no one has talked about the fucking movie. Yeah. And if the movie's any good, anyone's just hey, isn't it cool that Markiplier did this? We're going to talk about the movie, but first, let's unpack this mythology a little bit. Okay. Around the kind of, what does this mean for cinema, right? So what did you take from all of that?
So I think it's kind of maybe a little bit of a misconception, because the fact is this dude is extremely rich, right? It's not like this is a starving artist that made an amazing movie that caught on at a film festival. Like Pulp Fiction, although Tarantino had a bunch of help. But something like that, you know, right. It's not the same thing.
Well, I was thinking of a recent one, Skinamarink, right? Made for 13 grand. Yep. Ended up being a bunch. I think it made over $1 million in its box office, right? So 13 grand to $1 million is a huge fucking leap. This is a $3 million movie So I think this is one of those weird independent things, right? Like you always hear like, it's Sundance, independent, this and that gets picked up with Alison Brie and Dave Franco and all these fucking celebrities and directors you've heard of. And you're like, there's such a chasm in independent film and what that word means, right? Like guys like us who have no connections, no nothing, no power. We raise some Indiegogo money and some private investment. We're making a $40,000 movie.
I meant Reservoir Dogs, by the way. That's going to kill it.
Reservoir Dogs.
I didn't mean Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, he was already
It's okay. I think people are turning a little bit on Tarantino now.
Okay.
He's been kind of a prick. So I think we can let that slide. Right. We'll take that one for Paul Dano.
Okay.
But there is this thing in people's mind where they're like, that what we're doing is not the same as what Markiplier is doing.
Right.
Markiplier has built a huge web of just fans, right? 38 million people is enormous. So he's going to the theaters. He's not selling them on, I'm going to make a great piece of cinema, a cinema that people are craving, cinema that has something to say, that is high art. What he's saying is, I want to make this movie and I can put fucking butts in the seats in your theater. That's what he's leveraging. He gets to do this, not because he's an independent filmmaker, a great independent filmmaker. He gets to do this because he has a fan base.
He's a celebrity.
That could call those fucking theaters. Yeah.
Yep.
And I will say, I think this whole myth of the like great fucking, this is great for independent cinema is fucking bullshit. This doesn't help us or any of the other people we've been on the festival circuit with. But I do think it's cool, and you have to give some respect for, this guy's an influencer. He makes tons of money. The fact that he put his chips here to make this kind of movie, which is not the most accessible, and then wanted it to be theatrical, not just a streamed experience, I do think is cool. I do think we have to stop pretending this is a legitimate independent avenue.
I'm going to push back on you a little bit because I think this would be really cool, right? I think the big problem with why this isn't cool is because the movie's not good. So like,
the movie, spoiler alert, the movie's not great.
Yeah, not to jump too far ahead. But like if this was an incredible movie and he made it for $3 million, wrote it, directed it and everything, and did it all himself and got it in theaters, this would be amazing. But the fact that this is a crappy movie that he's kind of forced into the theaters because of his cult of personality is kind of a huge turnoff.
See, I don't even think that. I mean, there are crappy movies that get forced into theaters every week based on a star, director,
based on
whatever.
like I was thinking of Jimmy and Stiggs, right?
Yeah.
I know you liked it, but that's a shitty movie that got forced into theaters because of Eli Roth. It's the same thing.
You know what's funny? When I was watching this, I did think of Jimmy and Stiggs too.
The good thing about Jimmy and Stiggs, it's only an hour and 20 minutes, right?
That's the thing. The biggest sin of Iron Lung is that movie should be no longer than 75 minutes
so
long.
repetitive.
It's ridiculous.
It's the same notes over and over and over.
Right. The problem is, and I thought a lot about Jimmy and Stiggs, because Jimmy and Stiggs is a love letter to a kind of filmmaking, right? Love it or hate it. It was a love letter to cinema, to this kind of cinema. There's a love for the art form in there. I think this movie suffers a little bit from the kind of curse of form, right? So I've always heard this argument where people are like, when you read comics, it's like, why not just do that? You have the storyboards right there. They don't realize that the form of a comic dictates a different experience, right? The inner dialogue, the gutters between frames where our brains are trying to connect what's happening between. We experience a comic book different. You can't just film them shot for shot.
The structure of a comic book is way different. A comic book is more like the 15-minute Adult Swim. Like, this is a snippet of this character. Like,
yeah, and even a graphic novel, right? The form dictates a lot about how we experience. And weirdly, of all the art forms, right? Music, video games, all that. Movies are probably the one we have the least authorship in when we experience them, right? The movies can be hyper-specific. We see the characters. We see what they're doing. Whereas when I read Spider-Man, I might be Spider-Man, right? I can imagine myself as a kid in there. When I am hearing a song, right? When I hear a song with a beautiful woman's name, I'm imagining a woman I know, right? When I'm reading a book, I'm doing all of the work to fill in the visual details of that world, right?
It's kind of the same with the video game, though.
See, that's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Video games, I think, have a lot of this. Because we watched Markiplier play this game.
Yeah.
It looks like the worst fucking game that's ever been made. It's so boring. Nothing happens. It has these throwback kind of graphics. But again, I think to our point, we said, we're like, when you're watching it, it's like, well, at least you're pressing buttons.
Yes.
What this movie suffers from is it's not a good vehicle for cinematic storytelling, right? Like, think of something like this compared to something like Gravity, The Martian. There's all these kind of humanistic elements of storytelling that do not exist in this movie, right? And I think that's kind of the problem. I think that's what gets back to this. we couldn't make this movie, right? This movie didn't get made by the power of the Iron Lung fan base. This got made because one guy brought in seats. I was telling you before the movie, it kind of made me think of, I was like, it's almost like you have a girlfriend who's like a rotten old hooker and she stabbed you a bunch. She's robbed you like 10 times. You're like, why am I giving her Narcan for the 20th time? Eventually it's time to just let her go. Mm-hmm. This feels like where we're at with movie theaters.
So I think, I don't know why you think we couldn't make this movie. That was one of my biggest problems with the movie is this seems like other than some of the close-up shots of the eyeballs.
The VFX and the art department are incredible in this.
They're okay, but I feel like you don't really even need that if the story's better. Like, I feel like the concept is great. And just... I don't know the way they shot it.
I don't even know because it seemed very. Could you even tell me what the concept is of this movie?
Well, the idea. If someone just told me a story about the entire universe is dying, that's freaky as fuck, right? Yeah. There's humans on this one moon. It's the only moon left theoretically that humans are on.
I don't even know where we're at this whole movie.
Yeah, we don't know if we're in our. And
essentially, let's boil it down. What it is, it's Escape from New York, except. Snake Plissken doesn't do anything, and we don't even know where New York is.
And it all takes place in a little tiny sub.
With no fucking windows. You just get a picture every now and again.
But
some grainy shit outside.
The idea that... I guess the idea is way more terrifying than the movie. Because it's the end of the world, right? And what are you going to do? You're going to keep fighting. The nature of humanity is just keep fighting no matter the odds. At least that's what we want to believe, right?
Yeah.
And so... And so these people aren't giving up. They're going down in this mission into this ocean of blood, which the ocean of, like, you're not supposed to, like, none of this is supposed to make sense, right? But, like, subs aren't buoyant, and blood is not you can't be buoyant in blood. You sink right to the bottom. Like, this is just not how subs work.
Okay, hold on. It sounds like you're about to reel off, like, 50 things that bothered you. Yeah. Let's even step back from the weird, like, science of blood bubbledotics, right?
Okay.
Even step back from that. The basic problem with this movie, right? And again, I think you see Markiplier, if I was to give the movie a compliment, I think he could be a pretty charismatic performer. There are moments
he's definitely charismatic.
Yeah, there are moments you see him on camera and you're like, I think he could be a pretty good performer down the road.
Not bad looking either.
Not bad looking. What you can tell immediately, though, is that the directing, like the authorial hand of the visual storytelling is not good. The worst part of this thing is the script. The script is so fucking bad.
And he wrote it.
Characters just talk shit. And they're like the second reaping, the recoming, the birth, the light, the whatever the fuck.
Well, it's all terms from the video game that
maybe it's terms from the video game. This movie's 2 hours long. I couldn't tell you where we were. He kept saying, he's like, isn't this mission important? I go, what fucking mission?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, don't you want what I discovered? And I'm like, what the fuck did he discover? Like, at one point, they're like, there's a skeleton.
Yeah.
There's a black box. There's this. There's that. Okay, cool. What does any of that fucking matter? What is the value of any of this? And then the other thing they do is the one time we're not completely just in the sub with Mark is he gets pulled back up, right? He sees a skeleton. Mm-hmm. They pull his back.
Well, and I think it's crazy that they're just like, it's a skeleton, but it's not just a skeleton. It's a skeleton of a giant sea creature.
Well, also I was like, didn't the world die? Like, aren't there skeletons everywhere? Why is this big news?
Well, why wouldn't there be skeletons?
It's a fucking blood aquatic skeleton. Like, all right, well, I'm assuming they're not doing.
And also,
either.
It's moving, but whatever. Anyways, yeah.
But that's what I say. So, like, this whole like, we got to do this. And he goes back up. He's convict. That's what they call him. Mm-hmm. He's killed all these people at this fucking ring, whatever. Eventually, they're like, he's Simon the Slaughterer. I was like, that sounds like the lamest, like, first D&D character ever.
Yeah, his progression went from, like, he's just kind of a normal YouTube guy to he's a killer.
Yeah, it's kind of... And again, this is what happens, though. Markiplier liked the game, I think. Mm-hmm. Liked the world. This is the hard part about making a movie versus a stream, right? Like, through the power of his personality and his presence, he can carry people for a stream. That stream has, like, 14 million fucking views.
It's insane.
Huge. Like, he's obviously a beloved guy. The difference is, and that's why cinema is so different and challenging, is because there's so many disciplines. There's so many art forms. And a bad script makes directing harder. It makes acting harder. It makes it harder for the editors, which... That's the number one thing this movie needed, is someone to cut fucking 1 hour out of this movie.
It could have been, dude, this could have been, and it needs to be, 75 minutes to be a feature. It could have been, they should have cut it as 75 minutes just to get it out there, you know?
And that's the other thing, right? Like, we were talking, like, it has these kind of, like, event horizon moments, right?
Yeah.
there are moments on the event horizon where characters interact and we learn about them, right? The mom who got called back in, she misses her 6th son's birthday, right? We learn a lot about these characters through either their relation with each other or these kind of video outros, right? This movie just makes critical error after critical error. Just the people on the talk box never works for a second in this movie.
Yeah. Well,
and the mixing is so bad, half the time you can never understand what anyone's saying.
You know what? I think that what they were going for with that is that's even more terrifying, right? It's like the one person that you can talk to is cutting in and out and you can't even understand what they're saying. So I think that kind of worked. I wish we could have understood it a little bit more what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
But I get what they were going for.
If that's the point, right? If they're actually helpful to him, then that's scary, right? That's the abyss, right? Where you're stuck down.
But they seemed like his enemy almost, right? They weren't trying to.
They tell us right at the start of the movie it's an execution that they're trying to fucking kill him.
Well,
so then he's stuck underwater, and then it's like, okay, is this going to be a puzzle? Is he going to solve something? And there's just, it's one of those.
That's what it was, but we just didn't know what he solved.
But he never solved anything. That's the fucking problem. And this is the thing. Everyone wants to ride a contained location because it's easier to shoot, keeps your budget down. Not for this movie. They still spent $3 million fucking dollars all on VFX. Man.
Like you don't really need all the crazy, like the devil scene where he's in the puddle of blood. You could have cut that out. That had nothing to do.
At least it's something. The only thing you needed to cut out is you needed to cut out 55% of him staring at things in the sub.
Yeah.
Like, here's the problem. So this movie went more of, it's going to be The Martian. How do I stay alive?
Mm-hmm.
You could not have come up with a more dull and tedious visual language for a man trying to figure out how to survive in an ocean filled with blood and Lovecraftian monsters and skeletons at the bottom of the sea than this fucking movie. Like, here's a prime example. You can see what they think are going to be cool visual set pieces, right? Like, the only way he can get light is by pressing the button on the camera.
That was cool.
You think that's cool until there's at least 12 other scenes where he doesn't need that light at all. So does he need the light or does he not need the fucking light? If he's going to do that, then what we see in those fucking pictures has to pay off and matter more than it ever does, right? There's all these ideas.
Can we pause on the light for a second? Because I did have an opinion on that. And I think that that would have worked much better in a shorter form show, right? Because you can't
have a classic short film where you take a picture and something's getting closer.
It's a classic short film trope, but it doesn't work in a full movie because that would be so annoying if every time, like, you would only see half of the movie because half of it's dark. That would get old really quick. So I get why they. I
mean, honestly, seeing half of this movie wouldn't have changed it at all.
No, the movie's still the same length. It's just half of it's black.
It literally wouldn't have changed a thing. This was. And again, I appreciate Markiplier trying to help out our hooker wife, the theatrical experience. This is without a doubt one of the top 5 worst theatrical experiences of my life. This movie couldn't be more boring. None of the performances are that good. The VFX have some moments that are cool. The one thing that this movie did exceptionally is the art department and the practical effects crew deserve a lot of credit.
The blood work,
this movie
everything.
Could not have been more boring and tedious and dumb if it tried. And I think that's the sad part is it feels so hard like it tried.
Yeah.
That Markiplier thought this was like a real piece of work. But it has no theatrical or philosophical underpinnings. It has no ideas.
Well, I think
it has no emotion.
It's trying for some philosophical stuff. Like the whole point of whether or not to give up, if you know which actually I think takes away from the movie because there needs to be some sort of hope. Like there needs to be a hope at the end of the survival. Like what is he going back to? Like again, it's there needs to be a concrete.
This is a classic like post-apocalypse sci-fi problem. If we never meet anyone who's any good, and we think it's Simon, but then Simon is a slaughterer who's killed like a shitload of people.
And by the end, you kind of think he did actually kill those people, right?
I think he did. He's like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
It wasn't supposed. Oh, whoops.
Well, who cares if I fucking run a school bus off a cliff and 68 kids get blown up in a fireball?
Which they kind of set up with him being so brash that he takes a picture with radiation of him. They kind of set it up that he doesn't really think about what he's doing.
He claimed that was an accident.
Yeah.
But even it's who cares? So that because the lady's like, say sorry to my tumors.
I know. I love that line, by the way. That cracked me up. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny.
Yeah, you're like, it's a great line. Your life fucking sucks already.
Yeah. Have you seen your face? It's half scarred.
Yeah, your eyeballs all milky. You're fucking wiping blood off and stuff.
It doesn't seem like anyone's having a good time. There needs to be a little bit more hope.
But that's like what? Because this is the other thing. I don't love movies that have to over-explain everything. This would have been perfect for a classic, like, 80s title card that told me what the fuck happened. Mm-hmm. Did this happen on Earth, right? Because it also was giving me Evangelion vibes, right? So when the angels would come down and they'd get slaughtered, you'd have the blood. The oceans were now all this red liquid, and they were trying to salvage some ocean life.
Interesting, yeah.
But that's the thing. What was the calamity? Were humans responsible for it? These last humans who are alive, they keep doing this, like, kind of bullshit mystical symbolisms, right? Like, oh, Eden and the last tree and this and that. Mm-hmm. Kind of cribbing from these, like, world religion.
Right.
And whatever. What is their mission? What are they fucking doing? Here's a classic example of just bad storytelling, right? If you're a survivor at the end of the world, right? Whatever they're doing at this place, whether this is an asteroid, a planet, our planet, whatever.
It's a moon, now, I think.
Or a moon, yeah, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever we're doing here has to be because we're trying to survive, right? We as a species have to get roots back in the ground. Cool. For some reason, we picked this fucking place. We have to explore this place with fucking submarines.
Yeah.
You would never use the submarines as a way to execute fucking idiots and just pack the bottom of the ocean with fucking submarines. What is the only way you can ever get the answers you need to fucking stay alive? In the fucking submarine! Why would you not just hang this guy in the garage?
And put like a scientist in there or something, you know?
Yeah, they seem pretty fucking valuable,
Put
right?
somebody that's trained down
They're
there.
just like, oh, you found an old submarine. It's got stuff we need.
And dude, and the fact that they went over his mission briefing, right? They had a little flashback.
God damn it, my surgery wounds are like pissed because I'm yelling.
Damn, dude, yeah, don't yell. Don't get too excited. And don't laugh.
Fucking Markiplier!
Yeah, they do that little thing where they have the voiceover telling him his like mission prerogatives, but it's so vague. It's like you're going to go down into this thing, you're going to explore. They don't tell him what any of this stuff does. They don't tell him like you have so many hours of
Why
oxygen.
would a skeleton help him at all? Why do they need a skeleton? And then there's a live one, and they're not like get the live one. They're like get the fucking. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see that Lovecraft monsters can live down here. Do we operate the same way as a Lovecraft monster?
Well, they do. I do like that because I had the idea that you could subside off of blood because blood is not only protein, but it's also water.
Wait, hold on. Hold the fuck on.
Yeah.
Your idea is that we could just drink this oceanic blood with fucking creatures
Well,
in it?
and they talk about it in one of the... I don't know if you heard the part where the girl was talking about, we shouldn't be drinking this, and the other girl's like, it can sustain us. And I was thinking in my head, like, the Mongols, right? The Mongols used to...
Wait! That was in this movie?
Yeah.
Did I fall asleep?
I think you might have been in the bathroom. Or, I can't remember.
Did I fall asleep?
There was so much dialogue that was underneath... that.
It's crazy that you would say that part of the movie was we're drinking blood, and in the most boring movie of all time, I wouldn't have registered that at all.
Yeah.
That's insane. They were drinking the blood?
So the people that were in the other... So it was like a specter he was talking to, right? Apparently she and her partner... Apparently they put two people in the other sub because it had so much important stuff in it. Because they were talking to each other. I'm gathering all of this from my own mind. I don't know if this is...
Why do you think there were two people? There's one lady he talked to.
They were No, he was talking to the lady, and she was telling her friend, don't drink the blood. I told you not to drink the blood. And the other lady's like, the blood can sustain us.
I thought those were the people back at the garage we saw at the start.
Well, they all kind of sounded the same. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is you can live off of blood. The Mongols used to stab their horses and drink their blood. And you can live off of nothing but blood.
So then they're just lost in the wilderness? I'd rather have the speed of a horse than the blood of a horse.
No, you don't kill the horse. You just drain a little bit, like a vampire.
So it's like running you to the next village and you're just...
Well, I think they stopped probably when they camped and they'd just drink a little bit. But it's got enough nutrients in it. You could live off of... If there's an ocean of blood and it's actual human blood, I think you could live off of it.
Why would it be human blood on an asteroid or a moon?
Or any blood. Horse blood. Any type of animal blood that would work. As long as it has oxygen, or as long as it has...
Does this ocean scab over?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is they didn't explain any of this stuff.
Yeah, you would have thought this is something. Here's the thing. It has all the set dressings of what could be a cool story.
Right.
It's just so bland and so boring, and they're so uninterested in engaging the lore so that Markiplier can draw little lines on a graph. Mm-hmm. I was like, my God, do you remember when we were in elementary or middle school? We got our first tablets that were graphing tablets. I never was like, man, I can't wait to see that on the big screen. Mm-hmm. It was so fucking boring and tedious and stupid. And here's where the things that kind of might work in a game, the lack of information. Mm-hmm. did not help this movie.
Well, because in a game, that's the point of the game. You're trying to figure out what's going on.
But also, it's like we have 3 numbers, or 2 numbers and an arrow, right? He's just cruising a cave and never hits a wall. Like, he never has to fucking make a steering maneuver. At one point, he rams the skeleton or the thing, and it's just okay. Like, it's so fucking stupid and boring and bland. Let's get to this. This was kind of the biggest...
Well, and the depth thing is just a line. It doesn't actually tell him how deep... Like, it's not like you're 300 meters down. It's just a line. It's like, I just have to,
Right, it has like an X, Y, and then like a compass thing.
Yeah, it's
so it's like, what
I bet people that have actually been on subs are like, yeah, this would not work.
Yeah, I would bet you $1 million the guy who designed this fucking game, like a jump scare fish game, does not know about
He's not
subs.
a sub guy.
But that's the thing. The lack of information is crucial in this. We can't see movement outside, right? Like, I was thinking, what was a great, most recent underwater movie? It's called Underwater with Kristen Stewart.
That was a good one.
We can't see anything moving in the dark. We can't hear anything moving on us. A couple times you do, but it's not interesting enough. It doesn't really pan off. The camera just did not work as a gimmick. The camera did not fucking help this movie at all. So what they did instead is they tried to add this possible unreliable narrator setup, right? Mm-hmm. Where at times Markiplier is talking to someone or going off of something, but the cord's ripped on the box that he destroyed. But then it's back to normal. This is, again, just bad screenwriting.
It's just padding the runtime, right?
Which didn't need it. It's over. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes
This is
long.
one movie that you didn't need all this extra stuff. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, even though that blood scene where he encounters the god or whatever, it's a cool looking scene, but what does that do for the story?
It gives you something. What I'm saying is that's not where you need to cut. Where you need to cut is inside. And this point specifically is the thing that drove me nuts about this. Like, to me, this is a 1 out of 5 star movie. If you take out all of the, like, kind of false, this is great for independent cinema bullshit.
Yeah.
When you have an unreliable narrator, right? Whether that be through dehydration, blood loss, alcohol, whatever. That has to have a narrative visual impact on the film. The fact that this guy's losing his mind and thinks he's talking to the other ship, and then immediately just goes back to talking to the people up above. I can't just take now and reset in my brain to go back to that, right? It's like Event Horizon we talked about. Once people start seeing things in Event Horizon, it haunts them. It changes them. They're more aggressive to each other. They start treating Sam Neill as more the outsider that he is. You see all this tribal kind of bullshit start to happen. These sharpening of the fangs. Because Simon's alone, you don't do anything.
Yeah. And and the problem is he doesn't really react that way too, right? Because he just starts talking to her pretty normal. He's a little bit shaky, and they do a good job of giving him the room to like act freaked out. But I just think he himself is not his character. Maybe him as an actor has nothing to do with it, but his character is not captivating enough to hold your attention.
Right. Well, I think that's like a level of acting that's really hard to get to.
Yeah.
And I think he did good for the most part in the movie,
right.
But again, it's like if he thinks he's seeing all this shit, and he thinks he's talking to people that aren't there, and he thinks his ship is bleeding blood all over him, whatever. Why would we immediately just sink back into the reality of him going to get the black box? Right. And then do another 5 minutes of him graphing? Like, how do I set into that in the movie? At some point, he has to himself say, I can't trust what reality is anymore. I was just swimming in a sea of fucking blood with a gigantic god and an eye above me. I can't go back to doing graphs. Like, I can't go back to charting anymore.
But that's the game, dude. You got to get to where you need to go.
Right, and that's fine. But it's the same way that when my kids went and saw the Super Mario Brothers movie, it wasn't a fucking 8-bit side scroll. Right. They made a fucking movie out of it.
You changed
this again is the form and function problem that this movie runs into.
It was too much like the game, probably.
The game is so fucking boring and has kind of a cool jump scare in the end. It's tedious. It's annoying. I guess for some people, you can lock in on that and have fun. It doesn't work for a movie. We have to have some form. This is the thing. This movie needed an anchor. So either we have to trust that Simon is a good guy, or that Simon, whatever his crime was, let's say Simon did something, that there was a terrorist attack and he tried to stop it, but he couldn't, right? And everything went
supposedly,
bad.
Terrorist attack, he blew up a space station.
Right, but we don't get the real story of like why we should believe Simon was a good guy.
And I hate the scenes. This is a sign of an amateur screenwriter, right? Where you have the scenes where he's like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. And then he just talks about it. It's like, you don't need to have him say, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, no, he finally gets a hold of that voice and he's like, just talk to me. And she's like,
And
"Why?
then
So we could die faster?" And he's like, "I actually don't want to talk
Yeah,
about it."
it's
And I
like,
was
it's
yes,
stuff like that where it's like it's funny. Like that'd be funny. It's like you and your friends laughing. That's kind of funny, right? But for a movie, that just doesn't work because
right.
you have to be more efficient with your script.
Well, the most important thing in all of movies is screenwriting. And all the best directors, part of their secret is they get really good scripts. You can't take a really bad script and make a good movie out of it. And unfortunately, that's what this movie runs into. This is a bad screenplay with, I mean, and this is the other thing. It has this kind of like problem of indie filmmaking now, which is, yes, it looks cool. Yes, you get some cool stylized shots of
Well,
art
that's
flying
one thing
around.
you can
What's the fucking point?
pay for, right? That's the one thing you can pay for is you can hire a talented DP.
Yeah.
You can hire a talented VXF guy. You could hire a talented scriptwriter, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think at some point, and that's the thing, if you're spending $3 million, like we do that a lot. Like we know guys out on the circuit that write, direct, edit, all that. It's because we work for free.
It's because you have
If you
to.
had $3 million, you can afford to.
And I get why he wanted to be, because he's the star, right? He's the personality. He needs to be the main character. But maybe he doesn't even need to be the main character.
But who cares? They're going because Markiplier is the main actor and producer of this movie.
Right.
Him being a director, him being a writer,
Doesn't matter.
that probably changes the box office by less than 1%.
He could be a producer actor and it would have been the same thing.
Yeah, he could be like, I don't want to fucking write this tedious screenplay. I'm going to hire someone who's really good.
Okay, so on the other note, though, man, speaking completely objectively, this is just a rich dude that made a movie. For his first movie, not a bad job.
I mean, so this is where it gets hard with movies.
It's his first movie, you know?
Well, because again, I come back to this, right? So we have all this unreality, right? So let's say at the end he starts adding the like he's body horror, he's mutating, whatever.
That was the part I like. I did like the last 20 minutes. It got exciting, finally. And you're like, okay, I can get into this. And I remember you went up to go to the bathroom and then you paused and started watching it.
Well, no, I just had to stand up.
Oh, is that what it was?
Because with my surgery wounds,
Oh, okay.
it's hard to sit and decompress.
In my mind, the end caught you and dragged you in. But
No, I couldn't wait to get out of the theater. But again, that to me just reeked of like, we got to have something cool here.
You got to have a
I have no
finale.
idea why the ship would infect him. Do the things below want him? Do the things above want him? Is he part of this world now? It kind of had that annihilation thing. Like, what is the point of all this? He sends the thing up, whatever. So as the movie's ending...
Well, that was a little bit of hope at the end when he attaches the life jacket to the black box, which has all the information that this other ship has.
But
recorded.
who are we hopeful for?
I don't know, but that's
The
at
mechanic
least-
scumbags that are killing people with submarines?
It's a bright light in the middle of a blood ocean. I like the symbolism. It's good.
I think that's so bad. If that's the best this movie's got, then this is criminal. But no. So I'm watching that, and I was like, this feels like a let's put some fucking roots down. The VFX of him ripping his arms off, all that shit.
Yeah. The blood seeping down
Here's
the
the question,
walls,
though.
everything.
You said for your first movie, this is a pretty good attempt, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think he wanted to achieve here other than making a movie? Because if he wanted to just get it in theaters, he did that. He won the weekend and beat Sam Raimi at the box office, which
insane.
is great.
Yeah.
And probably a movie that doesn't have a tremendously bigger budget. What was Send Help, 20-some million?
I don't know, for sure.
So, like, also a millions of dollar movie,
Yeah.
right? Bigger stars.
But, I mean, if you
He
think
acted
about
and was quasi-captivating.
Mm-hmm.
He was a writer and got a fucking F-. As a director, he gets probably a D-. And as a producer, like an A+. So, like, it's a mixed bag. Like, what do you want...
as a producer...
What do you want to achieve with
For
your
sure.
first movie is always a tough question. He made a movie. He showed he could mobilize his audience to force that movie into the world.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what he's going for, this is a huge one.
So, actually, another Sam Raimi thing. Wasn't Evil Dead $3 million? And that's a way better first movie.
I feel like it was way less than that. The original OG.
I think, because they were shooting on film. Think about it. Like, I think back in the day, I think it was around $3 million to make Evil Dead completely.
I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
I could be completely wrong. I don't know. But it sounds like, but that's impressive,
Yeah.
right? And
Well, it gets back to this other thing. I hate how, and we do this because we do New Movie Monday. I hate how we reduce all these movies to like box office numbers.
yeah.
And it's just stupid. Like, I didn't pay for that
See,
movie. I don't fucking care
That's what
about.
I was talking to you about that when we were going to right before the movie started. And I was like, 22 million, right? That sounds great because he made a 3 million budget. But overall, on the grand scheme of movies nowadays, I guess 22 million is pretty good for any movie.
No, I mean, it is based on how much you're spending, right? Like, if I buy a car for $1 million,
Yeah.
that thing can't fucking break down every 5 blocks like a car I buy for $300. That's just not how investment works.
The difference is like, so a movie like Sin Help, right? It only makes 20 million opening weekend, but Sin Help is going to keep playing for a while, and then it's going to stream. I don't know
and if a studio has it, it'll be part of their streaming
What's the
packages.
longevity of Iron Lung other than that initial...
Oh, I can tell you this. This is the problem with Iron Lung, is that Markiplier got all his people to go out and watch it.
And that's it.
This weekend, he went from 20-some million. I think this and Send Help both made about $1.5 million they're projecting this weekend.
Okay.
Which is always a hard weekend because
they got
Super Bowl.
9 of my dollars.
Yeah, they stole our money today. We were in the huge theater with just 4 of us. Here's the thing. Markiplier was very smart to go straight to theaters. He made it buzzy. It has all this newsworthiness. This movie, anyone who watches this on a streaming service
It's going to turn
will
it off.
spend 85% of that movie on their phone.
Or they're just going to turn it off, I think.
I don't know, because this is the thing. Now it's a big enough newsworthy title that I think people will watch it. And I think actually it will benefit from how boring it is, because people will be on their phone the whole time.
It's easy to follow, even though there's
and
nothing to follow.
And then they'll just look up and be like, what's that? What's that?
Yeah.
But this is not going to be a movie that anyone's going to watch for enjoyment after a couple months.
So this is probably the only time this is ever going to be on the pod.
I would imagine.
We're never going to recap this one.
If we do like a, drafts like best YouTuber guys who made a movie, this would probably be the best one. Has another influencer made a better movie than this?
Isn't the Bring Her Back and
they kind of started out doing, but they were doing like short YouTube narrative stuff.
Oh, okay.
Is what I remember. He's a guy who streams video games and then made a competent first movie.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's like, what are the goals for this? And again, I think this gets back to my hooker we're giving Narcan for the 50th time analogy. Is people are really championing this because he took it to theaters, right? He could have just signed a big deal with Hulu or Netflix or whoever, made his movie and shot it out. People are loving the fact that he went with this theatrical model, right? I guess that's cool, but again,
energy.
It gets back to this like rich guy does his vanity project, has more outlets than the rest of us. Yeah, we know. Right?
Yeah, so okay,
we know. Like there's again, independent film is such a. People think like Kevin Smith making his movie for $28,000 is the same thing as this fucking movie.
No, yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Like people just don't understand because they don't make movies. They're not in this.
The difference is I think Mark is not. So Kevin Smith is talented as a filmmaker, right? I think Mark is talented as a promotion, like as a producer.
I think he's a really strong personality. We watched his stream. It was interesting. It was fun.
Influencer, I guess.
Yes. And that's the thing. What this is telling us is not that Hollywood's craving independent stories or that independent cinema's back or that if you go out and make your movie, Markiplier showed us that we have a path now. What it's really telling you...
It's a hard path.
Well, no, and it's been the truth of Hollywood for a long time, right? Is they tried this. Like, I remember Paris Hilton being in a House of Wax. That was a try to get a famous person for being famous beforehand, right? The facts are now is that Markiplier has the most valuable asset in the game, which is he can get an audience to a theater. The same way that Tom Hanks used to, or Leonardo DiCaprio used to. In an age where we don't have movie stars, these people are close to that. And they can go to producers and say, hey, help me make my next movie for $20 million, because my last one made 20, and I can bring these 13 million fans.
Dude, that is a good point. He's proven that now, if he does want to get I'm sure he could have got investment before, but if he does want to do like a giant movie.
Yeah.
But the difference is
there could have been people before who were like, this guy's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Now he's like, bitch, I won the box office. Like he wins this.
The difference is he won't have total control. I don't think he's although
I don't think that's a fucking bad thing.
That might not be a bad thing. Yeah.
That's the thing. Film is not like some people think where it's like one genius who figures everything out.
Almost never.
Never. A lot of people have
Charlie Chaplin might have been the only one, right?
I mean, there's been a couple. Like Kubrick was really into it, but he still had great people that worked for him and did all this other stuff. This is the thing is, like right now, Markiplier is going to start getting every fucking script in Hollywood. Like, what producer is going to say, wait, that guy brought in $27 million on his own? He could
go apply for any acting job he wants, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, immediately, if you have a movie, let's say you have, like, Weapons, why wouldn't you get Markiplier as, like, the third backup character? Yeah, just because that guy has 38
He could have been the drugged-out kid. That drugged-out kid was awesome, but he could have been that guy.
Yeah, he could have done that. That's what I'm saying is that and this is the thing, like, what's her name? Uma Thurman's daughter from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
She talked about how she was going to delete all her social media as like a cool young hipster thing. And producers told her, okay, if you do that though,
you're not going to get jobs.
It's going to make it harder because they have these like production packets now where your cast has to have this much social media following total. So if you cast her because you like her as an actor and her number is 0, then you got to go get someone who is not chasing this down. And I think that's why the influencer thing gets a bad rap. Is because we have this idea that actors are these great artists, like pursuing their craft.
They're like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's separate from the
right.
rest
There was
of
a
us.
mystique to them. They're training. They had these skills. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And influencers are just out garnering attention. I think the dirty secret is that there's not that much of a fucking difference.
Yeah.
That we had social media in the 70s. You don't think Al Pacino would be on there to say, ooh, ah, yeah, ooh. Yeah. Like, they would all be doing
Well,
that.
and honestly, I think a lot of these social media influencers are more charismatic on like a human level than a lot of these actors.
Yeah,
like, could you imagine Daniel Day-Lewis like pretending to be it just doesn't work for me.
Well, also, they're kind of auditioning all the fucking time.
And they're always on.
Yeah, and I don't think being a great influencer means that you're going to be a great artist. I think the problem you see with Iron Lung is that however much hope and skill and love for the material there was, there's a real gap in cinematic language, right? In cinematic understanding. It's not told in the most artistic way. They didn't use the cinematic tools to elevate this experience. And I don't blame Markiplier for not being a good writer and a director. He made something he really wanted.
Dude, yeah.
He gave theaters all this money. That's fucking great.
No shade on Markiplier other than I didn't like his movie.
Well, I didn't like his movie, but it's not like I didn't like it.
He himself is super impressive. And dude, it's so cool. And the fact...
And he didn't phone it in. That's the thing.
That's the thing, dude.
You cannot take away, even though the movie doesn't work, this was not like a cheap, hey, National Lampoon's, it's beaver hunting
that's
season.
What you were talking about. What was his goal for this, right? And I think it accomplished it. He really loves this game. You can tell it. You can tell that he really loves this game. He put his own money into this. And he tried to act the shit out of it. He had a huge passion for it. He acted the shit out of it. I'm going to say it. He wasn't bad. He wasn't the bad part of it.
I wouldn't say his performance was the bad part.
Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah, dude, you can just tell that this was something that he was passionate about. And that was his goal, I think, is just to make... And he made a profit. Like, what more could you want?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to end up making a lot of profit on this.
Yeah.
And again, now he's a guy... Like, what happens if you get called to be in, like, a Scorsese movie now? Yeah. Right? Because Apple TV is like, hey, you got to put Markiplier.
Well, you know, Scorsese would never... He'd be like, oh, my God, I'd never have that guy in my movie.
I'll tell you the truth. He doesn't have that kind of fucking say anymore.
I know, yeah.
Right? Like... Whoever signs the check has the say. And if they're like, yeah, is the 8th backup character you're putting Markiplier? He's opened an entire new universe to himself. Me and you are on the internet all the time. We're consuming media all the time. We'd never heard of Markiplier. There is still like a weird separation with the YouTube audience, even though it's huge. The streamers in this and that, they just don't cross over in the same way. Like now Markiplier is a name that will be in something where my mom will know who he is now. Like, he's going to hit a level of fame that you cannot just hit on YouTube anymore.
Well, he's crossed over into another, field, almost.
Right, like, my kids are obsessed with Queso. We watch his clips all the time.
Who's that?
You remember our college roommate, DDG?
Yeah.
It's essentially him, but like a big fat guy, like a ginger guy. And he just plays games. He's like, oh, bullshit, you're banned. He's really mad, and people make fat jokes about him in the chat that are hilarious. They call him Kevin Durant and all this shit. And he gets mad and he's fucking hilarious and he plays games. Hugely popular. One streamer of the year, once or twice.
Dude.
No one we know who doesn't have kids knows who the fuck he is. Like, there is such a big gap between those worlds.
Well, the thing is,
that's the difference. Like,
there's so many people.
Is like famous. And like, how of all these streamers, right? Logan Paul is famous. But a lot of that came from boxing, and now he's in WWE.
Well, yeah, they're entering into
Paul's
other
boxing.
markets.
Yeah, they're splitting out into other things. That like Mr. Beast is doing Amazon shows.
Well, Mr. Beast, yeah.
And you're like, why is Mr. Beast wasting time on an Amazon show?
A bunch of my friends are actually working on Mr. Beast's show.
Well, right, that's the thing. But the reason Mr. Beast wastes time doing an Amazon show, where he's probably not making as much money as he would if he just did this on his channel, is because our parents...
Yep.
Will see that Amazon show, and they would never have come across.
Well, and Mr.
channel.
Beast had dude. Mr. Beast is a different animal because he's entered every market. Like you can buy his candy bars at 7-Eleven right now.
Right, but I'm telling you, no one knew who the fuck he was of our generation. Like, all of our kids knew who he was. Like, he's so huge. But that's the thing. I've never been a person who just watches YouTube like it's
What do
TV.
you think Markiplier's demographic is? Young
I'm
kids?
guessing younger, well, probably a little older. How old
I would
is
think
this
it would
guy?
be hard for young kids to want to watch the submarine.
Nerds who stream games?
Yeah, maybe like...
I've never understood. I don't want to watch someone play a video game. I want to play a video game with my free time.
Yeah.
Especially a guy who's like doing a comedic walkthrough and not teaching you like tutorials.
Yeah.
Like, I've always found that very weird.
I mean, I kind of get it. I like to watch people play games like Civilization. I like to watch people play games that are really good at them. So I'm thinking Markiplier is probably pretty good at playing games.
Yeah, I do think there's some of that. Like, if they can teach you, I'm like, dude, if I'm watching anything that's not educational or a movie for this pod, it's just pornography.
Well, I never liked
I
never liked the ones where it's like, oh, I'm going to do a playthrough and it's the first time he's playing it and he's discovering with you. I'm like, why don't you just play the game yourself?
Well, so I'm like, why don't I do that?
Yeah.
And I'll check back in if I need help with something.
Yeah. I think we're too old for it, man.
I think we're too old because that's the other thing. We grew up where like it was hard to find things.
Yeah.
So like stuff like that has no value to me. So I'm guessing probably younger than us. He looks like he's a young spry man.
He does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the demo is, but he's got 38 million fans.
It's insane.
And he's
man.
got enough that they forced this fucking dog shit movie into the world.
It's such a weird timeline we're living in right now. Like, I don't. So, my sister believed that we all died in 2020.
I've heard some of this, yeah.
So, is all this really happening, man? Is a YouTuber making
Here's
a
what I'll
$20
say.
million profit movie? Like, what's
Here's
going
what I'll
on?
say. If we died in 2020 and this is some kind of hell and or
It's purgatory.
Purgatory, the writing on this is even worse than the writing on Iron Lung. Like, it's just not good enough.
It's okay. It must be a team of writers and they're not agreeing with each other.
I feel like this is so lame that this has to be real.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not good enough. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think this movie will be remembered as one of those. I don't think this is going to be like a watershed moment. Like, look what happened. This guy proved you could do it. Because what this is really telling us is every one of us who makes film
and
or wants to act, if you're still not a fucking slave to the social media game,
get on the internet,
then you're fucked.
Yeah. Dude, so I think this could have been a watershed moment if the movie was good. It all hinges on the movie.
Even if the movie's good, it's just another independent Hollywood movie that's the same thing. If you spend $3 million and hire good people and make a good movie, you can make money.
Yeah.
People are treating this that it's some kind of like, you know,
Game
the
changer.
90s independent cinema again.
Right.
What it's saying is that we have to all fucking be great influencers if we want the chance to make art that can influence someone. And I think it's kind of just the sad, like, the proof's in the pudding. We've all thought about it and known about it and danced around it. There's no more getting around it. If you're not on social media all the time trying to get that follower count up,
you're fucked.
it's just always going to be harder for you.
And
man.
I think this is also kind of a foreshadowing, and this could be the negative side of it. Like, I don't want only influencers to be in my movies. If that's going to be the future of Hollywood.
Right. Well, it's like, so either you get Marvel or you get a Disney animated or whichever YouTube streamer wants to fucking put their thing.
You have to have a franchise or you have to have a streamer.
They are the franchise now.
They are the
like
franchises.
Markiplier is the same as like the Hulk. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's why I think maybe movie theaters are the mean old hooker that we've dated for too long. They stab us. They've stolen our shit.
Just keep bringing her back.
Sometimes they OD and you just say, you know what? I'm not narcating you this time.
We're just going to let you die this time.
Yeah. We are so desperate for a theatrical experience to matter again and still exist. But like, at what point are you like, this isn't what I loved? It exists still.
Yeah.
But in what form?
All right. Can we end on a couple positive notes then?
I thought we were very positive. What the fuck?
Well, I just got to say I know that it doesn't scientifically make sense that the blood would be dripping down the walls, but I thought that was so fucking cool that, like, as the movie progressed, the amount of blood that was dripping down the like the set, like you said, the production designer, and I wanted to remember his name, and I made a mental note of it because I saw it at the end, but I can't remember his name. But dude,
well, if we learned anything from this movie, you should have made a note.
I should have made a note. But dude, you killed it, man, with the production design, the cinematography. Like, you can, if you have money, you can get some really good shit. I don't know. Yeah, that's my positive note.
It looks like a movie. I think Markiplier, you give him a lot of credit. This is not, if I was Markiplier and I was going to make a movie, like, what's my first one to go out and make a splash with? This would not be the movie. You'd make something more fun. You'd make something more engaging. You'd make something more easily accessible. He went after a really dense piece of work, and he tried to make it denser. I think he was a little ahead of his directing and writing abilities, but he gave it everything, man. He went full bore with a movie that most people probably were like, this is not the right one.
Yeah.
And he gave it a good swing, man. And he obviously won in the end.
He said, I think, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And then he did it, and then it worked.
Yeah. I also think this gets back to, like, it's easier to just say fuck you and do whatever you want when you're rich.
When you're rich, yeah.
That's cool.
It's impossible to say it when you're not rich.
Yeah. When you say it when you're rich, that just means I'm having an extra cigarette and 3 beers. Yeah. Sam, here's a debate for you. Do we even do a messed up moment? Is there even a messed up moment in this whole movie?
I was thinking of that, man. And yeah, it's going to be tough. I think for me, okay. So
this is honestly true, and I cannot state this enough. I'm not trying to be rude or condescending. I could not tell you with any degree of certainty any single fucking thing that happened in this movie. Like, what really happened? Where were we? What were the characters' names? What were we fighting for? Which scenes were real and which scenes were not.
So it got me.
I couldn't tell you a fucking thing that happened.
It got me at the beginning. The most messed up thing is the concept of the movie, right? And so the beginning.
Lame. You can't say the concept. What's the most messed up moment?
I'm going to explain it. So the moment when the camera opens on him and you just see his back. He's got his hood on. He's in this sub. You don't know what the fuck's going on. And then it pans.
He's wearing his submarine hoodie.
It pans in on him, and he's just like this fucking. The dude that I thought he was not what he ended up being, but he seems like this hardened dude that's about to go on. Because you read the log line for the movie, and it's like a guy's in a submarine in an ocean of blood. So you're thinking, oh, this guy's hardcore. And it pans in the opening scene.
Not a lot of pansies find themselves in them waters.
And then you see the chains, you see all this stuff, and he starts sinking down, and you hear it. And like the walls are creaking, and the lady's talking. She's telling him, "Hey, you need to watch out for fires. You need to do all that." Got me. The beginning, the first like 5 minutes of the movie, his first mission, and then he comes back up, and you're like, "Okay, he's gonna get out of the sub, and some real shit's gonna happen." But they're like, "No, you're just gonna go back down." And they're like, "Oh, so the whole movie's just gonna be him in this?" It's gonna be the first 5 minutes over and over again.
Yeah. Do you like watching a guy draw graphs?
Yeah.
With no visual input.
But yeah, so
your most messed up moment is a guy who just does a successful submarine dive for 5 minutes.
But being completely terrified the entire time. And I thought he played it pretty well.
I mean, this is my problem. Is like we had a scarier submarine story in real life this year, right? Some guys went down.
I was thinking about that too, and I was like, yeah, he's not deep enough for it to be crushing him, right? He's only 200 feet down.
I think now if you're gonna do the submarine movie, like, come on, we have people making that way scarier. R.I.P. Titans.
Did you happen to have a messed up moment or no? Maybe the god was pretty fucked up.
Honestly, I don't even think I can pick a most messed up moment.
When he ripped his arm off.
No, because it's not real. To me, it's not real. That's in the throes of like a psychological meltdown. The thing is, here's the problem too. The script is so bad and jumps between what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
I never know what's at stake. I never care if humans survive. I never care if he survives. To have a truly messed up moment, there has to be something at stake that I care about. This movie doesn't have a frame of the film that I gave a shit about. Like, not even a second of this film did I give a fuck about what was happening.
I like the frame, because we watched the video game, and how you die in the video game is it cuts outside of the sub and a giant fish thing crushes you.
Yeah, fish like jumps through the wall.
And that was the last frame of the movie, right?
Yeah, but so at the end, it's like, I don't even know if that fish was eating the sub, because then why were they trying to keep him down there? The body horse stuff is not real. He's drinking all of his water, but then never gets thirsty the rest of the movie.
And he drank alcohol, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I was like, is he not blind from that? Like, I didn't get that part at all.
Well, then they show like his oxygen, and then they're like, he hasn't breathed in 4 days. And I was like, so if nothing matters in this world, and nothing ever happens, what could I even care about that would be messed up? So he has a vision quest where he goes outside the sub, and he's in an ocean of blood, and we look up, and it looks like a fucking one of those tie-dyed sheets that would hang on a bed above a hippie girl you just met at a bar in college, and you're like, this is going to be some fine fingering.
Oh, God.
That's it. Then he's back in the sub. And that's the problem. There's not a moment in this. There's nothing to care about enough. This movie to me played like the flattest, most boring video game that I was just playing to get through. And I had not an anchor in a single frame of this movie. So how could I pick a most messed up moment? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe at the bottom when he crawls in the crawl space and it's filling with blood, just because the claustrophobia of that is terrifying to me. But it's not like I gave a fuck. It's not like I knew he wasn't going to get through it. Like,
well, he wasn't.
Even at the end when he dies, I still didn't feel remorse. Like, that's the thing. This is a hollow vacuous.
What do you think of his line, too? Like, as he's crawling, he's going to open up the porthole, and he's like, it's
How about
worth
that?
it.
Why does he give a fuck if the humans get any info?
Well, see, I think that was the only part that kind of got me, was because he does kind of care about
Why?
humanity. Because I think deep down...
They literally just killed him with the submarine.
Well, those humans did, but humanity in general didn't kill him.
How many humanities are left? Fucking 10?
Well, that's the thing, is I want to know a little bit more about this world.
Yeah, see, they forgot an important step in the world building, which is to build a world.
Well, you got to give these people something to fight for that you can actually see, or explain it, maybe. Explain what they're fighting for.
Does he have a mom there?
Yeah.
Is the lady who has to send him down and pass judgment his sister? There are so many layers of storytelling that this just jumped right over.
You could have made it so much better if, like, his wife was up there and he took the fall for her and that's why he's down there, or anything.
He has a kid at the base. Literally, storytelling 101, there has to be an obstacle.
It's literally
and an objective.
He just wants to survive, and then even at the end, the god's like, "What would you give to survive?" And he's like, "I'd give everything."
And then he's like, "But also, I don't have anything."
Which kind of takes you out a little bit. That's the YouTuber writing it.
And also, it's like, why do you want to survive?
Why do you want to survive? We need
thing.
to know why.
I saw a space tree once. Like, was that cool?
That scene was cool.
But why? It doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. You didn't need it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Iron Lung is a movie that means nothing, says nothing, does nothing.
Hell of a good title, though. Iron Lung. I like the title. It has a strong title.
That's a spaceship. That's the sub.
I mean, yeah, that's just a good title. I think that would have been a killer title, 20 years from now when we're looking back on this, if this was a really good movie and be like Iron Lung. But no.
I actually think the title sucks too.
You think it
has nothing to do with the game?
Jesus Christ. The title
Other than,
was cool.
I guess it's a thing you can breathe in, but it doesn't even have air in it.
The poster was cooler than the movie. The poster had all the teeth and the iron lung.
The poster's a great example of where this movie fails, because the poster tells me nothing.
Yeah.
And it's alerting me that the movie is about nothing. It is about watching one man accomplish his dreams, which I'm proud of. But the rich get richer. Markiplier, the rich get richer. Do I give a fuck about that as a cinematic enthusiast? Not really.
So wait, you're not going to subscribe?
Will I ever watch this movie again in my life? Absolutely fucking not. This is a 1 out of 5 star movie. Again, I think the narratives that are building around it will make it more memorable than anything that was put on the screen.
But people will just be talking about how he made it. They're not going to be talking about the movie. And you don't want that if you're a movie maker.
They like the idea that someone who's an independent, an underdog, came in and beat Sam Raimi at the box office in February.
Which I'm sure this has happened before. I don't know.
Right.
But, the movie needs to be good is the most important part of any movie.
And this one wasn't. Also, to me, it's just once you start saying your budget's in the millions of dollars, you lose the underdog thing to me.
Yeah, you're not an underdog.
And the fact that you're bringing your own audience, it's like you have things that the rest of us don't. And that's the thing. I don't have sour grapes about that. Right? Newsflash, filmmaking has never been a meritocracy. It never has, right? It's full of nepos. It's full of backroom deals. The rich get richer, right? Some people have it easier than others. There are great talents that never get discovered, never get an opportunity, never have money. That's the world, baby. Get used to it. That's the fucking world we live in.
Yep.
So I don't begrudge Markiplier either, but I'm also not making him this fucking Lisan Al-Gaib of independent cinema and theatrical runs anymore. I think this is just a rich guy made a splash, man. He put his money where his mouth is and his fans supported him.
We should call him Marky Outlier because...
Marky Outlier.
Because that's what he is, He's not an independent filmmaker. He's a rich fucker.
He's a rich motherfucker.
And he's a cool guy. I don't know anything about him, but
yeah, he seems like people love him.
I'm glad he did this.
I'm just saying, if we get to make a movie for $3 million and we come on here fucking doing the Oliver twist, like, oh, we're so poor. Yeah. Just stop listening to the pod ever. Like, that's fucking crazy.
All right, I agree.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Make sure you go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page to support this show. Make sure you go to Indiegogo, type in Mr. Cream Jeans to help support our first movie, which also probably might not be the most cinematically high-reaching.
Yeah, but we only spent, $40,000?
Yeah, we're really po. Yeah. We real po. Make sure you follow Misfit Parade on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. We're there. You're there. See you. next time.